The application of premise in games for GBGD 409. Game Social and Culture Studies by Adam Majid. A premise allows a writer to understand the foundation of a story before they begin to write the more visible aspects of. A quick definition of premise from a game designer's perspective is a very brief summary of the game that outlining events to give the player a point of reference for the movement of the plot and subplot. Explaining how our events involve the player. This helps establish the overarching objectives or goal of the game, sets the rules and the expectations of the game, reveal the game world, its setting and places geographically as well as visually, emotionally and thematically, establish the philosophies, ideologies, value and beliefs of the world, various inhabitants, communities and factions. Based on the definition provided, we will examine the use of premise in the following two games. There may be potential for spoilers, so spoiler alert. The premise of Final Fantasy VIII is the cadet in a military mercenary academy will master melee combat, magic and the use of summoned guardians. He will rise through the ranks, become the commander and lead the fight to save the world from a time-traveling enemy. Following the definition above, firstly, it is clear that the player is Cadet Squall Leonhardt, who will graduate and gradually rise to the rank of commander as the game unfolds. Thirdly, the rules are set as Squall gains mastery of melee combat using his chosen weapon, gain the ability to use different summoned guardians to aid him on his adventure, master and command a variety of magics, and use all of the above to grow in both strength and power. Fourthly, the game world is quickly established, first with the local surroundings of Balamb Garden and Balamb Village, before expanding into a multi-continent world with dozens of cities, which are home to a variety of factions. The philosophies, ideologies, value and beliefs of the various factions are essentially stereotyped with no real depth, resulting in this simplistic but effective division between good, neutral and evil. Moving on to Dragon Age Origins, the premise is the player is recruited to join a warrior brotherhood to fight an enemy, betrayed and branded as traitors. They must rebuild their reputation and secure new allies to save the world. In summary, each of the 7 origin stories explains what is happening, how the player becomes involved in events and also establishes rules and expectations. The game world is sufficiently well developed and presented. The final component of the definition of premise, where it helps establish the philosophies, ideologies, value and beliefs, is where Dragon Age Origins excels. The origin arcs help the player explore and learn a great deal about the different factions in game. As shown, we can learn about societal philosophy and ideology, the politics and government, economics and individual and societal values of the nobility, and by extension the rest of human society. Notice the nearly opposing philosophies, ideologies, politics, economics and values. All of this is seen in the origins arc of the gameplay before the main plot and subplots actually begin to move. The final component of the definition of premise is very well developed, in contrast to the lack of its development in Final Fantasy VIII. This does not make one game superior to the other, as both are different experiences by different writers, well supported by their respective. That is all and concludes this video presentation.